Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole, and we have a very interesting topic for today, and that will be stevia and other healthy sugar substitute. And among these substitutes, what is the best sweetener for diabetics? And our first sweetener on the list would be agave sweetener. Agave is, as you can see on the picture, it is made from this spiky green plant, similar to pineapple. And agave plant is where we get our tequila from. Now you know. And the syrup, along with the information of caramel, has somewhat more calorie consumption than table sugars, but approximately 25% sweeter. So, in order for you to save calories on agave sweetener, you need to use less, since it's 25% sweeter than sugar anyway. But it contains more calorie than table sugar. So, definitely you need to use just a small amount of this agave sweetener. And agave nectar is a good stuff for your gut because it has prebiotics. Prebiotics is a good bacteria, and it is good for your digestion, and it is essential for healthy digestive system. And it contains dietary fiber and other minerals and vitamins. So one good sweetener that you can actually consider. And the second sweetener on the list will be the famous honey syrup sweetener. And this honey sweetener has been used by centuries already, especially by people in Middle East, like Israel. It's actually listed on the Bible. It's one of the healthiest food sources that you can get. Yeah, usually before they eat it, directly from the beehives. And it's really sweet. It's really tasty. Just slight aftertaste though. So if you're very particular in the taste of your coffee and or juices or whatever drink you may want to have, um, honey syrup could affect the taste somehow because it has a slight aftertaste. But the good thing about this honey syrup is that it doesn't give too much weight to your hips and belly, unlike sugar. If you eat too much sugar, you will accumulate fat in your belly area and your thigh area, which is very unsightly for women. Like me, it is one of my major problems. And I noticed that when I stopped eating sugar and went into healthier alternatives for, sugar sweetener, I noticed that my belly fat has melted down, and my thighs become slimmer and leaner, which is I'm so proud of myself right now. And aside from this effect, it is concentrated with antioxidants, and it has full of vitamins and minerals as well. And if you have high cholesterol levels, this is a good news. Honey is a good cholesterol buster. And individuals who had about 10 spoons of honey every day noticed that their bad cholesterol dropped around 3.3%, and while maintaining or losing weight. So if you're trying to lose weight, honey might be a good choice for you. What is our next alternative sweetener? This is blackstrap molasses. A tablespoon of vicious molasses, a byproduct of sugarcane processing. Um, Refined sugar came from sugarcane as well. Same with blackstrap molasses. It's just that the refined sugar, it doesn't contain any vitamins. It's just a pure carbohydrates. So you're feeding your body with empty calories. Well, with sugarcane, with this blackstrap molasses, it is unrefined, and it contains vitamins and minerals. In fact, it is rich in calcium. So if you are if you are having some osteoporosis or bone problem, blackstrap molasses could be one of a good choice for you for alternative sweeteners. And if you are if you are in this stage wherein you are menopausing, there's a call for it. Premenopausal, yeah, syndrome. So if you're experiencing those, you need loads of iron. So blackstrap molasses is one of the a good source of iron as well. And aside from that, it contains vitamin B6, magnesium, and lots of antioxidants, which makes it a very good natural sweetener substitute for sugar. Blackstrap molasses, I tasted this myself. I really love to use it as a jam for my sandwich. I really love it. Instead of using, strawberry jams that you can buy in the grocery, it's full of sugar and refined sweeteners. So I'd rather get blackstrap molasses on that part. Um, for juices and coffee, it has strong aftertaste, so I don't recommend this. But there are other drinks that you can mix blackstrap molasses, like lemon honey. You mix some blackstrap molasses, it rhymes with it, and it's really tasty. But if you're using it to something like strawberry milk, it doesn't go with it. It tastes bad. So let's go with the next sugar alternative, but it's coconut sugar. Very famous. Coconut become is becoming well known because it has lower glycemic index, though there's no long-term research to prove this benefit. But most of diabetic people in their hopes, to get a good sugar alternative, have used coconut sugar, and coconut sugar is getting lots of good feedbacks from diabetic people. um, and it came from a sap from the coconut palm will be heated, and it will be evaporated, and then that's the process how to get the sugar from it. And coconut sugar is very nutritious, and unlike sugar, it doesn't spike up your blood glucose almost immediately, though it does add to your blood glucose, but it doesn't spike it up because it has a lower glycemic index. So what I'm trying to say is it contains still calories. Same with blackstrap molasses, honey, and agave. They all contain calories. So definitely you need to watch out for the amount that you are taking, okay? Because these are not calorie-free sweetener, but they are healthier alternative to sugar because they are nutritious, and most of them have lower calories than sugar. Um, it tastes much like brown sugar. So brown sugar doesn't have that, heavy aftertaste. So it is good for, coffee and juice. Unlike, blackstrap molasses, it has really strong taste, which is very distinctive. But for this one, just slightly richer than brown sugar, but it's tolerable. And let's go with the next alternative sweetener. We do have barley malt syrup. Um, it is similar to molasses in texture. It's very rich. And barley malt syrup, this is unsurprisingly have a malty taste. That's why it's called barley malt syrup. And also, this makes it a deal for baking and bread. But for those who have partial spot of home brewing, it can also help take the edge of concoction. It also easily digested and has a lower glycemic index compared to sugar. It is, however, not as sweet as sugar, and it has a very distinctive taste, which makes it a poor choice for tea and coffee. So, same with blackstrap molasses, a healthier alternative. However, it has a distinctive taste, so it has its own uses. So, you can use this in your bread, baking, um, or some dishes that it could rhyme with. So, it depends, but you need to play with it. What I usually do on this alternative sweeteners, I have them all in stock at home. What I usually do is, if I feel like drinking, you know, uh, lemon lemonade, for example, I use honey, and sometimes I mix it with barley. It depends on my mood, but I have it all in stock in my place. So whenever I need this, I'll just get one instead of using sugar. So these alternative sweeteners are good to have them around with you. And the last but not the least, the famous stevia sweetener. Stevia sweetener is I therefore conclude that this stevia sweetener is very controversial because it has its rocky ride experience with FDA. So FDA didn't approve this immediately, unless but after Coca-Cola and Pepsi announced that they are using some of its extract, FDA also announced that some of its extract which are included in the Coca-Cola and Pepsi products are safe and fit for human consumption. So for me, the essence of the story is that it has something to do with the business, because stevia that time is a big threat to a multi-billion-dollar business of artificial sweeteners. So it is a big threat, and so I think FDA have considered that instead of considering people's health, because artificial sweeteners are not natural. However, it is considered, it is FDA approved, and they consider it safe for human consumption. And despite of the complaints that the artificial sweeteners are receiving from its users, especially the side effects and the long-term health impact on our body. So let me introduce you what is a stevia herb sweetener. This is a natural, no-calorie sweetener made from South America, and it has been around for centuries. It has been used by Guarani tribes in Paraguay, and they use it for sweetening, for skin topical uses, medication, and many more. So it looks like the stevia herb has been part of their daily lives, and most of this Guarani tribe commend that stevia herb has has wonderful health benefits. And stevia comes with the different forms. It could come in liquid form, drops, dissolvable tablets, or other spoonable products, and as well as baking blends. And there are many brands that represent stevia. So we do have Sweet Leaf, we have Truvia, we have Pure Via, and many more. And some stores even have their own generic stevia products. But let me tell you a trivia here. This is true. I'm not making this up. I made some research about how refined powders are being used, because refined powder form of stevia have the highest sales rating. So that means people are using it mostly compared to other forms of stevia. So I made some research before I do anything, and I found out that in order for you to form a white refined powder from stevia, you need to process it with chemicals. So that means you need to bleach it. What's gonna happen is they will get the extract from stevia, and then use chemical to bleach the extract, and then it will undergo a rigorous processing, and it will be mixed with other substances to improve the texture of the powder. So that means that what they are selling on the shelves are not pure stevia, but they're just some of the extract, and these extracts were bleached. It was chemically processed, and stevia extracts, the processed stevia extracts now being mixed with other substances, which we don't know if they are healthy or not. So you know, um, in my opinion, stevia is a wonderful sweetener. It does many good things to your body, but we need to make sure that the product itself that we're taking is pure stevia. And unfortunately, powdered stevia are refined and considered not pure. So you were not gonna get the full health effects of stevia, and but rather, some nasty side effects because of the chemicals and other substances that mixed with it. Um, and there are other side effects. Complaints that stevia is receiving, but mostly of these complaints are coming from the powdered stevia form, but not with dried leaf stevia. And so there are many allegations basically, but let us figure out which ones is true and which ones are not. Okay. Stevia can cause cancer. This is definitely a myth because stevia is healthy and it's natural. There's no long-term research to prove the allegation. There were tons and tons of tests that that were made to check if stevia is health is good for human consumption, and most of the test subjects conclude that they tolerate taking stevia, and it didn't give them any major side effects. And and also animal research was conducted, and so these animals were fed high volumes of stevia to check, if it's gonna affect their fertility, and if they're gonna show signs of cancer. And I'm happy to hear that these animals who were fed high amounts of stevia didn't have any symptoms and didn't have any side effects. So I therefore conclude that stevia is safe for human consumption. I'm using it myself, and I'm pretty happy with the effects it's giving me. So stevia can cause weight gain. This is exactly the opposite of what does. Stevia can help you lose weight because, if you have the problem of a strong appetite, stevia is the perfect sweetener for you because it satisfies your sweet cravings to the fullest. It doesn't give you the hunger for more. Unlike artificial sweetener, if you notice, if you were taking artificial sweetener, you feel like eating more. The more you want sweets, because it doesn't satisfy your sweet cravings. It's just it does provide you the sweet taste, but it doesn't satisfy you. That's why you keep on coming back for more. And there's a study conducted that that artificial sweeteners caused test subjects to gain weight instead of losing it, and those test subjects contained more fat than those test subjects who took regular sugar. So it's much better to use sugar than artificial sweetener because it does no good to your body. um and just so you know, the essence of dieting or losing weight is you need to burn more weight than the calories you're taking in. So, and I just want to remind you that sugar is not the only source of sugar. Other food sources that you eat, especially carbohydrates like pasta, bread, refined flour, and many more. If you have too much of those food sources, your body is gonna turn those to sugar, and if you cannot burn all the sugar in your body, what's gonna happen is your body is gonna store it as fat. So that is the most common reason why you gain weight. And the good thing about stevia is it does suppress your appetite for those kind of foods. And what's the next allegation? Stevia can cause slight discomfort. Well, this is pretty normal, especially if you are making some changes on your food choices. Um, the reason for this is you are going through sugar withdrawal syndrome. Your body is adjusting to the amounts of sugar you're feeding it, because sugar is zero free calorie. It doesn't it doesn't have any calories to begin with, unlike sugar. So your body is going to react to that, but the symptoms are just short term. And and it's okay, it's worth it because you know you were saving calories and you're changing your lifestyle for the best. um and Another thing, most of the complaints that people are throwing to stevia, those people are using refined powdered form stevia. So I mentioned earlier that those products on the shelves contain chemicals, and they're just containing some extracts of stevia. So it means that it's not pure, and you might experiencing the side effects from other substances included on those products. So I will reiterate this, that the best source of stevia is get the dried leaves version instead of other products out there, because using dried leaves will make sure that you are eating the right thing. You are not ingesting any chemicals to your body. It's the same, it's the same thing. If you were going to buy canned pineapples, right? Those canned pineapples contain lots of calories and sugars. So instead of you getting canned pineapples, get the real fruit itself. So that's what I'm trying to say. Get the real thing. So this doesn't it is not limited to stevia alone, but also to other food sources. Always remember that natural and organic food um, has short shelf life, and those packaging that you can see in the grocery store, they are using additives and preservatives to prolong the shelf life of the product. So what you are getting is actually not pure organic fruit. So get the real thing. All right. And all right, this slideshow comes to an end. What is our verdict? Well, there are so many sugar alternatives out there, but since this is your health is no joke. So definitely you need to make some research, um, and make sure that what you are taking is organic, and what you are taking is safe and fit for human consumption. And always check the label, and check if there are other substances included which are considered unhealthy. All right. And using sugar alternatives like the ones that I mentioned before at the beginning of this video, these are the best sugar out there. They are nutritious, but if you are trying to make a major impact on your sugar intake and you need to dismiss sugar totally from your diet, then instead of using artificial sweetener, you can go with stevia, because stevia does give the sweetness you need while while improving your health, and it doesn't contain any calories to mess up your diet. All right, and it is perfect for diabetes, people with diabetes, because stevia is non-carbohydrate. So, carbohydrate is the food source that is diabetic should watch the most, right? So, stevia is a perfect candidate for alternative sweetener. And the rest, if you think that you want to try the rest alternative sweeteners on this list, make sure that you limit your consumption, because they still contain calories. Yeah, right? Especially if you were diabetic. So I therefore concluded the best sugar for diabetic people would be stevia. And other sweeteners here you can use sparingly in your food dishes, in your drinks, but watch out for the amounts, okay? And you cannot overload your body with these too much with these sugar alternatives. All right, and all right, and just to make a quick recap on the stevia part, because this is a controversial sweetener and there's so many things that we need to clarify with it. So, no research proved that stevia can cause cancer and infertility. Animal tests were done, and the results show that stevia don't have side effects on test subjects. All right. And stevia does not contribute to weight gain, but rather helps you lose weight. It is withdrawing from sugar that can cause a slight discomfort for first-time takers of stevia, and it could be if you are using other stevia sources like refined powder, you might be allergic, or you were experiencing side effects from the other chemicals or other substances included in that product. But if you were taking dry leaves and experiencing side effects, those side effects should be short term. Any prolonged side effects, you need to consult your doctor. And what's your verdict? Stevia is an excellent sugar substitute for people with diabetes and for those who want to cut back on their sugar intake. It is best to get dry leaves instead of commercial processed stevia products in the market today to avoid additives and chemicals. Using stevia will help you omit most illnesses due to excessive sugar intake. Stevia is fit and safe for human consumption. And if you want to learn more on the benefits that can provide, I'm sure that I put up some videos that discuss those. And if you want to know what are the what are the negative side effects of artificial sweeteners, refined powdered form stevia, I put up other videos as well, um, to further give you information on these topics. All right. And if you don't know where to get your dried leaves version of stevia, and you don't have the time to plant or to grow your own stevia, then you can click the link below my video. It's going to take you to the site where I get my supplies from. I am sure that this farm is using organic materials to provide good crops, and this will ensure that you are taking all natural organic stevia without chemicals and all nasty stuff. And their farmers are very professional in drying the leaves, so you are getting the most out of it. All right. I hope you learned some things about this video. Stay healthy, and if you have any questions, just feel free to put a comment below, and I'll be happy to answer. Okay. Thank you very much for watching the video, and have a great day.